Yeah, it's probably the other thing entirely issue. The airlines really know about this topic. Not only the airlines do, but the business aviation community does too. So there's a lot of market pull there right now. From an airport perspective, this fuel is actually drop-in. So at some airports, there will be absolutely no impact. Airports that are interested in being more aggressive and helping the industry are doing the work like San Francisco is doing to see how they can actually facilitate, help increase the demand. I think the most important thing really is two issues that I would highlight. One is having a long-term, stable, consistent policy. That's key. It's very hard when these manufacturers go to the street to capitalize their projects and they don't have that consistent policy behind them. It's very tough. And they also need an offtake agreement. Those are hard to come by also, but we've been consistently working on those. Second issue is we've got a real hole right now. So we have technologies that are at hand, that are being built. Some are operating, some are being built. But I'm concerned about the long run and being able to use feedstock from any source actually around the world, because aviation is a worldwide phenomenon. And for that, we need additional technologies. I'm very concerned right now that there is no key source for allowing a technology to go from a laboratory scale through demonstration and deployment activities to a commercial scale. That activity is missing, and I'm very concerned about that. So any focus that we can do on that from a government perspective will be very helpful for the long term. So 10 years from now, I think a lot of airlines will be using it, not just in the US, but around the world. I think we'll see a lot of business aviation also using it. Not so sure about the military at present. I'm not any better at crystal ball gazing than anyone else is. When people ask me that question, I usually give them back a list of 15 questions to answer first. And I say, if you can answer those questions, I'm happy to answer yours. And it's things like, where is the price of petroleum going? These big macro effects that we have no control over or very little insight into. Here's the metric that I use with respect to my advocacy for the entire industry. I'd like to offer my sponsor, North American carriers, the ability to meet their CORSIA obligations through SAF usage alone. If I were able to do that, they need about 350 to 400 million gallons per year, incremental capacity year after year after year to do that. So if I'm successful, if we're all successful, in 10 years, that wraps up to about 3.5 billion. That's a big number. That scares me today, but that's the path that I'm on, trying to figure out how we can make that happen using all available resources and folks that are interested in helping the aviation industry to make that happen. It's always the case that no matter how good of a job that you think you're doing with communication, not only just general knowledge building, but things around advocacy, et cetera, you never actually do enough. And there's a lot of competition in this space. The whole world is looking at sustainable solutions. So we need to be a part of that. We need to have our message heard. We need to engage with activities like San Francisco has put together on a policy advocacy activity to position jet on an equivalent basis with diesel. So any opportunity that we have with industry practitioners and those who are paying attention to the sector to hear that message, hear it clearly, and have them develop a more full understanding of what we're doing, the better off we are. That's why I'm here and why I'm very interested in participating in these kinds of activities going forward.